Yo, football fans, it's me, Football Fakier, and I'm back with another video, another episode of the Road to the World Cup series. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. So before we continue and jump into the video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do share this out to all your friends and family. It really helps the channel grow. We do interact with all the people who comment. So thank you so much if you have liked, subscribe, and comment on the previous videos. If not, we do appreciate you for just watching. However, please don't be shy. It takes nothing to subscribe or the like button. So in today's video, I'll be reacting to Coach Hugo Broos' final squad selection. The South African national team coach selected his final 26-man squad for the World Cup. They play the opening match against Mexico. So today he's trimmed down his 32-man preliminary squad to 26. And I'll be reacting to the players that has been selected and might give my thoughts on what I think of the overall shape of the squad. So without further ado, the goalkeepers are Ronwen Williams, Ricardo Goss, and Sipo Chain. I predicted this in my initial video when I reacted to the preliminary squad. So like I mentioned before, Brandon Peterson has been good for Kaizer Chiefs. However, the three goalkeepers went to the AFCON. Ronaldo Lino came in for Sipo Chain in the last international friendlies. However, I feel that this three that was selected is just the three to. There were always a three that was going to be selected for the national team. So no changes there. I do believe Ronwen Williams will be number one. Sipo Chain will be close second, and then Ricardo Goss will be the third choice goalkeeper. So let's look at the defenders. The defenders consist of Kalusa Modau, Nkosinati Sibisi, Imi Okon, Kulemani Mdamani, Aubrey Mudiba, Sumukelo Kabini, Tabang Matuludi, Olwetu Makanya, Komogelo Sebelebele for some defender now, but in the preliminary squad he was an attacker, Bradley Cross and Bekezele and Bokazi. In my opinion, I think there's too much defenders firstly. Like I mentioned in my prelim, it will either be between Sebelebele and Morena. Apparently Morena's injured. The CAF final, but so Sebelebele comes in. He also provides then an option as the wing. Or an option on the wing, sorry. And then there's three left backs in Aubrey Mudiba, who's also carrying an injury. I don't know if he will be fit for the opening match. It's Bradley Cross who deserves to be there, in my opinion. And then it is who he's been at the AFCON. He was always going to be in the squad. The player who misses out is Thabiso Moniani. Unfortunately, as already, like I mentioned, too much defenders. There's already three right backs as well, if you count Sebelebele as a right back. You have Kalusa Modau, as well as Matuludi from Polokwane City, who gets in a call up. I thought he would miss out. As well as Bradley Cross. I thought the two of them wouldn't make the squad, mainly because I thought that we would strengthen further up the field, and I'll get into that again. But I mean, the defense is decent. I think everyone here. Oh, sorry, the player Makanya, like I mentioned in the preliminary review, that there won't be a reason why he's mentioned and he doesn't go to the squad, because he's out of nowhere. He just got his name got mentioned in the preliminary squad, and I mentioned why I think he will make the squad, and he does make the squad. So congratulations to him. Defensively, I think we decent. Mudau starts at right back. Mbokazi starts at left centre back. It just is, will Mudiba be fit for the first game, and then he will obviously start. And the right centre back, I think, will look on over Sibisi and Makanya. I think just that combination of Ocon and Mbokazi, it was tested against Panama. Yes, there was some mistakes between the two, but I think that will be the starting centre backs. We move on to the midfielders, where it's very thin, in my opinion. Tebogo Mokoena, Talent Mpata, Nyaya Sitola, and Jaden Adams. That's the only four midfielders or defensive midfielders who we are selecting. Lebogang Mabue, Brooklyn Pochenpoel, two misses out. The reason why I say it's too thin is because a suspension and injury to any one of these four will make us suffer. If you look at the players that we have, Jaden Adams, Tebogo Mokoena, players who to get into tackles, so they will get cards. Yaya Sitola is a bit on the slower side, so he will always commit fouls as well. That is the issue that I have. So I don't know if players like Aubrey, Mudiba, or Mudau, who has been midfielders before they moved to Sundowns. Both of them played as midfielders at their respective clubs. Aubrey Mutiba used to be a midfielder at Black Aces, and at Supersport as well. He used to play sometimes in midfield. And then Sailor Madau was a midfielder at Black Leopards. I don't know if they will be used as midfielders or if one of the centre backs will be used as midfielders. Should we lose out there, lose a player in that position? But I do feel thus four selected are the best that we have to play in that position. Special mention to players like Mabue, Brooklyn Pogonpool. I mentioned Yusuf Mar. Those are the players who I maybe thought I would have liked Mabue in the squad, to be honest, just to add something different to the midfield. However, Coach Hugo Broos thinks that the front four basically will be the team that carries the team forward, with players like Tibogo joining in the attack, with talent with long range shots from outside the box. But again, like I've mentioned, these four are the best. I think no one comes ahead of these four. Whoever would have been added would have just then waited for his opportunity. The reason why I say we are thin, because I do predict us going to the last 16. So as the tournament progresses, I do think we're going to struggle if we should lose one or two of these players. We're going into the forwards. Osman Apollos, Ikram Reyners, he is in the squad. The player who the whole of the nation wanted in the squad. He gets the nod. Happy for the boy. Tsapeng Moremi makes the squad. Relebohile Mofokeng is there. Evans Makopa, Themba Zwane, Lyle Foster, and then the last player to be selected is Tapelo Maseko. Players who must out here are Tito Masangwani, Tapelo Morena. Morena apparently is carrying a knock. He would have been the same like Sebele Bele. It was one of the two. Sebele Bele gets the nod ahead of him. With Tito, I really wish he was in the squad because of what he can bring. And the reason is basically, if you look at the number 10 position, Themba Zwane, Relebohile Mofokeng is there. If you're going to play without the number 10, I do understand. They can play out wide as well. But it comes down to what I've mentioned is if one of that midfielders misses a match, or if one of those midfielders cannot play for some reason, we then forced to play with the number 10. And what if Themba Zwane can't play or Rele can't play? Now we are light in that position as well, in that number 10 position. So I feel Tito should have been in the squad. I would have dropped one of the defenders, to be honest. One of the right backs, one of the left backs maybe. Just to have Tito in that squad. And then Mabue for the midfielders, I would have maybe dropped, for example, Matuludu or Bradley Cross if you want Sebele Bele in the squad and you want Kabini in the squad. But that is the number 10 position. The same thing on the wing. You have Osman Apollos who will be the starter, and probably Tsapeng Moremi, who I believe that will be the two wingers who starts. Then from the bench, you have Tapelo Maseko, and you have Ikram Reyners who can play on the wing. He's not a natural winger. He can play there. And then it all depends where Rele starts. Again, light. Should we lose any one of these wingers, we don't have impact players from the bench. And especially for me, who's predicting South Africa to go to the last 16, I just feel going further into the tournament, we should hope that nothing happens. No players should not hit form. No player should be injured. No player should be suspended. But our opposition in the group is going to cause us to cause fouls. The Koreans will run non-stop. So we will be fighting with them every 50-50 ball. We will be fighting. The Czech Republic players will frustrate us. They'll be stronger than us. So they'll bully us. They're not going to shy out of the tackle. So what do we then do? And Mexico will have the crowd behind them. They will push. They will drive the team forward, and it will cause us to make fouls. So suspensions will be our biggest issue, I personally believe. And up front, I think that is the best three, in my opinion. Yes, in terms of playing for the national team, and three different type of profiles. If you look at the strikers, Ikram Reyners, natural goal scorer, always plays on the shoulder of the last man, wants to get in behind, wants to be in the box, finish. He just wants the ball at all times. Lyle Foster, again, hard running, technical ability, good, gets into good positions to score. He just doesn't convert all his chances. And then you have Evans Makopa, who is basically a threat in the box. Put the ball there, he will fight. He makes good runs off the ball. He's not there in the squad to link up the play or to be the focal point to hold it up for the rest of the oncoming midfielders. He's basically there just to drag plays out of position where we can have the third man running from our number 10 or one of the wingers. But I do believe Paulus will be our key man going forward. He's carried Orlando Pirates this season. I hope Relembu King. This is his opportunity as well. Just go and shine, boy, and make your name so everyone can know you, and then move on to a better club. I think most of these players, if you look at players like Paulus, Rele, if you look at Jaden Adams in midfield, these are players who can put up their hand and go and play abroad. Not saying the rest can't, but again, they're not bad. I think the team is decent. We have 11 that can start against Mexico. We then have players to come on from the bench and still put pressure on Mexico. I just feel going into the second, the third, and even into the knockouts, should we call it when we do qualify, it will get tough. But yeah, that's the end of the video. I wish nothing but the best to Coach Hugo Broos and his team. I know the analyst in the CPO has probably um, analyzed the three teams that we're playing against. Since we knew we were playing against, he's going to do the work. He's very good at what he does. He will dissect the opponents to the T. It's all for these players to go out and execute the game plan. Um, so on my side, football Fakier, I wish Bafana Bafana all of the best going into the World Cup. I do believe we'll go to the last 16. And for you guys, please support the boys. Obviously, things won't always go our way, but what can we do about that? So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's me, Football Fakier. And yeah, what do I know about football?